Hello, everybody. I hope you are having a good Friday. I happen to be home from work today, and as I'm heading out to Europe soon, I figured we'd just cover some of this stuff before I head out, because things are looking bad. Things are looking very bad, and honestly, I'm kind of starting to get worried about where the world is headed. To be perfectly honest. So, as far as I can determine, the war continues to go basically nowhere. They just kind of continue to keep hitting Iran with missiles, and Iran continues to fire back, and that's about it. Neither side is really making a huge amount of progress from a military standpoint. If anything, the U.S. is admitting that they aren't making the level of progress that they want to make, and that's about it. The amount of progress they want to make. Trump has decided that we are not going to have an off ramp. Because a lot of people, I think, were hoping early in the war that when it was clear that the Iranian government was not going to collapse after like 2 days, that they would come up with some sort of off ramp, and Trump would say, "Look, we killed Khamenei, try to force Iran to give some sort of token concessions, declare victory, and go home." But Trump has been pretty adamant that that's not going to happen, that they're in for the long term. We've heard as long as it takes. We've heard 100-day war now. And Trump is declaring we need an unconditional surrender. That's the only peace terms that is acceptable. Just taking a sip of coffee. Yeah. So figure that one out. Now, if we get to, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff that's going on. So I have not been able to confirm or deny this because we have all kinds of stuff going on, and there's conflicting reports. So the current plan seems to be that the U.S. is going to send in ground troops, but they aren't going to send in American ground troops. They're going to get the Kurds, the Azeris, and the Baluchis to try to overthrow the Iranian government somehow. Now, how this is even possible, I'm not sure. Unless the Iraqi Kurdistani government directly intervenes, I've seen estimates that all of these groups together can field maybe 5,000 soldiers. That's about it. That's roughly everything that they can throw into it. And is 5,000 dudes really going to do much against the Iranian army? Now, I get that they have access to unlimited U.S. and Israeli air support, so there is that aspect to it. But yeah, I don't know. Beyond that, we also have the issue of why would the Kurds trust the Americans after they just threw them under the bus in Syria? And also, my understanding is I didn't think the Kurds in Iran were that unhappy with their situation. I didn't think the situation of Iranian Kurds was the same as Iraqi Kurds or Syrian Kurds or Turkish Kurds. I thought it was a scenario kind of similar to what you have with the Basques, where the Spanish Basques are separatists and the French Basques aren't particularly interested in independence or some sort of greater Basque state. So the problem is the core of the country is Persian. Now, I've seen estimates between 40 and 60% Persian, depending on who you ask. But the country has a clear large plurality, if not majority, Persian population. So, why I think this is a bad idea, other than the fact that I don't think it's going to be enough troops to make a difference, is there is a difference if you're an Iranian between a new government and your country being broken up. So there might be a lot of opponents of the Iranian regime who want it to be a liberal democracy, or they want reform or something like that. And if that's the only thing that changed, that Iran stayed intact as a state, a state, then they might have been okay with that or even supportive of that because it's just a change in government. Now, what is being implied by sending in these ethnic militias is the breakup of Iran. That is, cut off the Azeri part here, the Kurdish part here, the Baluchi part here. Let me just see here. So I think a lot of people who might have been sympathetic towards the invasion, who might have been sympathetic towards the invasion, are going to go, you know what? I don't want my country to be broken up and given to all these different minority groups, is my understanding of what's probably going to happen. And I think it's different for army units to be fighting a regime change operation and to be fighting separatist militias who want to break up the country. That's just what I think personally. I just have my doubts that it's going to go over that well, even with Iranians who are against the government, because it goes from being a change in regime to the existential threat to the existence of their country. So that is what they are currently thinking at the moment. I think it's a terrible idea. Now, if the Iraqi Kurdistani army somehow gets involved, I think they can actually field a decent number of troops, and they actually have some heavy weapons, so they might be able to do something. But keep in mind, during the Iran-Iraq war, Iraq wasn't able to win with one of the largest, most heavily equipped armies in the world. And that basically just went on for a decade. Now, granted, the situation is a bit different now. The Iranian army is stronger, but the Kurds would also have massive air support from the U.S. So once again, it's a bit more complicated, but I don't know. I just don't see how 5,000 dudes are going to do much against a country like Iran. They might be able to occupy a couple border towns or something. I also don't know if, I don't know. It just seems like a very dubious proposition that basically takes what was a regime change operation and turns it into a existential crisis. Now, the whole unconditional surrender thing means that there's an unconditional surrender. Basically, Iran has to agree that they will do anything the U.S. wants. So not just regime change. If the U.S. decides they want to break it up into 50 different pieces, they would have to do that. If they decided that they wanted to... I don't know, put in the Shah in power, they would have to do that. Basically anything. And I don't think even, once again, a lot of the liberal anti-regime Iranians would be in favor of something like that. I think a lot of them would be horrified. So that's going on. We got the militias. We have America committing to this long-term operation. We have, let me see here where it's CENTCOM. I think it was CENTCOM. Let me just see if I can find this. Just seeing if somebody knows where the 100 days thing that they said. I'm gonna find it. No. Sorry, I'm just trying to find this. America or last to September. I'm just trying to find the original quote. Okay, so he said that the war will last 4 to 5 weeks. Once again, if somebody knows where that quote is from, I would appreciate it. Okay. Just trying to see if they actually said that. The Pentagon is rushing to expand. The reinforcements. Okay. Okay, so there's no. I don't see a source. Okay, the United States is preparing for a war that could last until September. There's no source here. There's no link. That's cool. Have I ever mentioned how much I hate the media? Like, I fucking hate it, because one of the things that makes it difficult for me when I'm doing this is they just almost never have sources for any of this. Okay, so according to Politico, somebody in the government, a state department official familiar with the process, okay, which could be literally anybody, said that the operations against Iran are likely to last for at least 300 days. Okay, what is this? Send more Florida support operations against Iran for at least 100 days, but likely through September, according to a notification obtained from Politico. So, in other words, they made it up. So, according to their made-up, non-existent source, this war is going to last 100 days, maybe until September. So, why is this such an issue? The problem is, and I've been watching some stuff about this, but Qatar has had to shut down its natural gas exports. Sorry, not just exports, but the production of natural gas. Qatar is no longer producing LNG, to my understanding, and I don't think any of the Gulf states that were producing LNG are producing LNG anymore, or natural gas. I could be wrong. I think Saudi Arabia might still be preparing some. But the thing is, you can't just hit a button and turn it back on. Now that it's off, what I recall is that it would take about 2 weeks for the gas to be turned back on. So, however long this war takes, it's going to take another 2 weeks after that to start shipping the LNG again. So, the LNG from this part of the world is just gone. It's not going to be in play for a sizable period of time. It's just over. Likewise, oil from this region is just gone for the foreseeable future, especially if this is going to go to September. Now, the other thing is there's a very limited amount of oil storage. From what I heard, most of the oil storage in the Gulf states will be full within the next couple of days. And when the oil storage is full, they will have to shut down their oil fields. And when that happens, once again, it will take a while for them to restart this. And the longer it's down, the more time it will take to get started again. So if it goes to September, I don't know if they're going to have to replace entire parts of the operation or what. It is a major issue because this, once again, one of the biggest oil areas in the world is just gone. So even if this lasts for another week, the Gulf states will have to shut down oil production, and then we'll have a huge lag or a lag before it restarts. The only alternative to this is if China is able and Russian freighters are able to come in and start picking up the oil, which Iran would probably allow. Also, they are not. They are not. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. Um, Insured by Lloyd's in London. They have their own insurance. Now, as we recall, Trump announced that to keep global oil running, what we're going to do is the U.S. is going to provide insurance to ships going through the Strait of Hormuz. I think they announced that that's not going to happen. That's not possible. Also, even if they were insured, who's suicidal enough to to pilot a ship through here in the middle of a war zone? Trump also said that he was going to escort that they're going to escort ships through the Strait of Hormuz, which to me would make them just sitting ducks. This is not the best area to have a large ship. Most of the ships, I think, are like way down here. They're outside of Iranian missile range, or they're just so far away that it's almost impossible to hit them. The other thing we had happen, let me see if it's on the map. So, Constantine, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is Ukraine has a submarine now that they got from somebody who is probably probably the United Kingdom. And the submarine that they got from the United Kingdom, they used to destroy a Russian tanker off the coast of Malta. Or maybe they didn't destroy it, but they just hurt it. So, oh no, they sunk it. Okay, so Ukraine deployed naval drones against a Russian tanker off the coast of Malta, and that was gone. So, I mean, that's good for the environment. All that. Actually, I don't know. Maybe LNG just turns back into normal natural gas and dissipates. I don't know. That just doesn't seem like a very good idea to me. Obviously, Malta is completely okay with piracy off their coast. That's, I guess, cool. The EU does not see this as a problem. So, from my understanding, what Russia has said is, okay, you don't want our natural gas, fine. So, Russia looks like it's going to be cutting off whatever natural gas it's still supplying to Europe. Europe had said that they were going to cut off the natural gas soon, anyways. But Russia's like, okay, fine, we're just going to do it now. I think Europe still gets about, I'm trying to remember the exact amount, 15% or something like that of the natural gas of their natural gas from Russia. So with that effectively gone, I don't know what they're gonna do now. Qatar is also gone, so I think Europe is kind of screwed. That will put. I was doing some back of math calculations. Europe will now get, I think it's about 30% of its LNG from America. My understanding is Norway is the single biggest provider, but Europe is now in a position wherein its energy security is solely based on the goodwill of Donald Trump, who threatened like less than a month ago that he was going to cut off LNG exports unless they gave him Greenland. By the way, what the fuck ever happened with Greenland? Remember how that was like Trump's big goal? And then they had some sort of conversation and then it was just never mentioned again? I mean, but this summarizes the whole administration. The entirety of the administration is just, we're going to announce shit and it's never going to happen. So I don't know. Greenland is just, I guess that just got resolved, and Trump doesn't want Greenland anymore. Now that we're at war with Iran. So here's the thing. So if we come to North America is energy independent. No, I know Rudik gave him some sort of consolation prize. It didn't really make a lot of sense, and it didn't go anywhere. But North America is energy independent. Canada produces a ton of natural gas and oil. America produces a ton of natural gas and oil. They're both net exporters of energy projects. So from a pure supply standpoint, if you live in North America, you're going to be okay. We're not going to have massive shortages. They're not going to suddenly turn off the heat. There's not going to be people with gas cans around. Now, is the price going to go through the roof? Is it going to become super expensive? Yes. I have not looked up the Brian McGuinness thing, so I can't really comment on it. But I live in Canada, so my electricity in Manitoba mostly comes from hydro and wind. Canada does not use a significant amount of fossil fuels for energy. I think it's mostly hydro. Yeah. Canada is hydro, natural gas, and nuclear, all of which we produce domestically. So we're not really in danger of any kind of electricity shortages. It's just going to raise the price of everything. But, I mean, that's something. I'm just happy that I paid for my flight to Holland before this happened. So the price is locked in, and I don't think that they can raise it. And prices are probably going through the roof at the moment. Also, I'm fortunate because my car is very fuel efficient, so I don't really need to fill it up very often. But yeah, so we're good from that perspective. Let me see here. But when it comes to Europe, Europe is fucked. Europe is completely screwed with regards to this whole thing. Now, there is an interesting story. Constantine brings up the Cyprus issue. So the UK drones are not. So the UK Department of Defense have said the drone's attack on the Cyprus base was not launched for Iran. So there's that. That is interesting. So the hydro didn't. Sorry, not the hydro. The drone didn't come from Iran, so I wonder where it did come from. It couldn't have been from a certain country. It couldn't have been U.S. Liberty 2 Electric Boogaloo. So there's two options then. It was launched by Hezbollah or it was launched by Israel. So who do you think launched it? So the UK is saying it's not Iran, which is the most likely one. So, but it's quite possible it's Israel who did this. I would not be surprised. They've shown that they're okay. Let me see. Has anyone speculated if this is a false flag yet? A couple people are. I don't know. This is just gonna get memory hold. It's just gonna be like the mystery Scooby Doo couldn't solve. It's gonna be like Nord Stream. Like, we have no idea who is behind Nord Stream. We're not going to investigate it. We're going to investigate it. Germany's just going to be fine with their energy infrastructure being completely felted. That's just kind of normal, I guess, at this point in time. Is these countries are so cocked, they're just like, oh yeah, please Israel, destroy our energy infrastructure. But once again, it could be Hezbollah. Who knows? There was a drone or missile that was headed towards Turkey. Once again, it's hard because Iran's playing like the J1, if you get the Axis and Allies reference, attack everybody strategy. But at the same time, Israel is also Israel. So, I don't know. I don't know how long the air defense missiles are going to last. I don't know how long the precision weapons are going to last. What is this? Mossad agents? Okay, so Tucker said that, and people just said it was fake. It said it was fake news. So I don't know. I have mixed feelings about Tucker with regards to how reliable he is. Okay, so TASS has said it. Let's see, Israel. So Russia is claiming this. So I don't know. You can think Russia is lying about this or not. It's hard to tell because I don't entirely trust Russia, but this is exactly the kind of thing that Israel would do. It's hard to know. I don't see it really reported from anyone other than Tucker and some dissident places. So, America is also trying to get the Gulf states to join their coalition. Now, what the Gulf states can realistically do, I don't know. Do they really have offensive militaries? Like, can they invade Iran? I guess they could fire some missiles. France is going in big with their one aircraft. Maybe they have more than one aircraft carrier. Maybe they have like two. But they're sending an aircraft carrier to the Gulf. So they're going to join in. Britain keeps going back and forth between joining in and not joining in. It's kind of hard to tell. Let's see. What are oil prices up to? Okay, let me just see. Yeah. So they went from $67 a barrel to $89 a barrel in like less than a week. So that's good. Yeah, $85 a barrel. Oh no, it's $89 a barrel now. It continues to rise. It's probably going to get a lot higher before it's over. But yeah, Europe is screwed. Let's see here. What's natural gas prices? They've gone up. Not a huge amount, though, it looks like. But we'll see how that goes. Lumber's down, so that's something. Well, France has like one aircraft carrier. Okay, there we go. The Charles de Gaulle is heading to, ironically enough, is heading to the Gulf. If someone knows about aircraft carriers, so do they keep planes under the deck? They must keep some of them. That just doesn't seem like very many planes in order to do that. Uh, the Charles de Gaulle is the only nuclear powered aircraft carrier outside the U.S. fleet. Is that true? Is the Russian and Chinese ones not nuclear powered? Maybe it isn't. I thought that it was. Uh, oh no, it's conventionally powered. Okay, it is. Interesting. China has three at the moment. Let's see. Just seeing. Let me just see. Okay, because I think some of these were repurposed. Propulsion. Okay, that one's conventional, or else it would say. Yeah, conventional. I guess they aren't building nuclear ones. Interesting. Propulsion. Is this one nuclear? No. Maybe nuclear ones are. Oh no. Okay, they have one that's being made. Okay. The Type 4 is under development and it will be nuclear. So France is going to come in and save the day with the Charles de Gaulle. I don't really know what they're going to do with one aircraft carrier, but it's cool, I guess. So yeah, I think that's one of the things that I do wonder about is if the Chinese Navy will ever actually be able to challenge the U.S. Navy. I have a lot of doubt about China's general competence. So I don't know. I guess it's possible, but I don't know. I have a very once again I have a very low opinion of China in general. There was I don't know the Duran had this guy on who was like some white dude living in China, and it was just the cringiest shit. He was like, "Oh, China is this benevolent country who loves everybody, and China's going to be there for Europe in their hour of need, and they're going to give them gasoline, and they're going to do all this stuff." And I'm just like, no, that's not going to happen. If China gives somebody anything, it's going to have a pound of flesh. China doesn't do anything for free. So this idea that like I don't know, China's going to swoop in and save Europe just seems kind of insane to me. And that they're not going to demand like massive concessions. I don't know what the concessions would be yet, but they're going to be devastating, whatever they are. But I don't know. That's just kind of how it seems these people are thinking these days. Let me think. What else is going on? It, guys, it's cool that the Ukraine war just ended. I mean, I guess it's over now. I haven't heard it mentioned in quite some time. So once again, I guess it's finished. I guess Zelensky won. The Russians have been felted, and they can everybody can just go home now. maybe is that the narrative we're operating under at the moment? That I don't know. Oh yeah, Zelensky bat right. Okay, so Trump bat phoned Zelensky and asked him to provide to give some of their equipment back. And I think for help with drone warfare or something, to do this war in the Middle East. So I don't know. The whole thing is just a mess. Now I think Saudi Arabia can. By the way, MBS really miscalculated on this one. MBS really did not, I think this one through. Or maybe he did, and this is some sort of strategy I don't really understand. But it seems to me like he thought that this thing was going to go really well. And it's turned into kind of a total disaster, a debacle. So I'm going to say something that I never thought I would say. It might be the best at this point, and I know people are going to get angry at me. If America just wins this, if somehow the Iranian regime collapses, I don't know, maybe that's going to be the best for the world because I'm pretty scared about what's going to happen if this thing just keeps going on. Between the global oil prices and all that kind of stuff. So maybe at this point, a U.S. victory is the least bad option. I don't know. This is a very difficult one to judge one way or another. And if people want to go after me in the chat, go ahead. I don't know. I'm just nervous. I don't know if anyone else is nervous about the current situation, but yeah, America wins. The third temple gets built. That's definitely a problem. The American leadership is fucking crazy. I don't know if anybody's been watching these press conferences, but they're basically just like massive crash outs. Pete Hegseth is fucking nuts. Like he sounds like a kid playing like an RPG, like an RTS game. Like he just starts going on about like building the third temple is like the win condition, about how awesome it is that they're killing so many Iranians and they're leveling everything. I don't know. I just think it's kind of fucked. They destroyed that ship that was no threat, and they didn't try to help rescue the sailors. It should be noted that for the first part of World War II, U-boats did try to rescue the sailors from the ships they sunk. They stopped that because a U-boat got destroyed by an Allied bomber while it was trying to do that. And they just said going forward, we're not going to do that again because we've seen what happens. But yeah. So the other thing in the Gulf states is they don't produce their own food. I mean, they have some food, I think, from hydroponics and stuff, but they don't produce their own grain. So food stores are going to start running out there sooner rather than later. So that's another thing. So these countries are all just fucked, which to me is kind of I'm okay with. If it wasn't for the oil, I'd be okay with it because most of these countries are backstabbing cocksuckers who fund global terrorism. So and radical Islam and shit like that. So I don't really feel bad about any of these assholes getting taken down. Sorry, not sorry. You know, I was thinking, I'm like, you know what would have been better, and that would have probably gotten more support from me? If Trump had just said, this is a neo-colonial war, we're going to take over Iran, and we're going to take their oil, and we're going to export all the oil to America, and we're going to reduce gas prices. If Trump had said that, I would be more sympathetic. If he was just like, look, we got these savages, we're going to go take the country over. There's going to be oil. There's going to be more oil than you've ever seen in your lifetime. I mean, that was the part of the Iraq war that was arguably like the lamest, is they didn't get the fucking oil. Like, if they had invaded Iraq, extracted the oil, and used the money from it to, I don't know, build space colonies, that would have been based. I would be more sympathetic to that than what wound up happening. Like, that would have been cool. Can you imagine, like, if they used Iraq, like the oil money from Iraq, to build a moon colony or like a Mars colony? That's, yeah. By the way, one of my main, if I ran for president, one of my policy proposals would be defund Dindu welfare, make build space colonies, and make Anne Orlando real. That is what my policy would be if I was running for president of the United States. Um, no, but like, okay, I'm being facetious. Obviously, I'm joking, but that would at least make sense. Um, like, that would actually at least be logical. They have valuable resources. We want their valuable resources. I don't know what wound up happening with the whole Venezuela thing. Like, they announced they were running it, nothing happened, and now the new president is playing ball. Was that the outcome of the whole Venezuela operation? I just want to repeat what I think what they should have done, and this is, and someone was calling me a third worldist the other day. I don't think I'm a third worldist. I don't think I sound like a third world. I just am tired of the retardation. I'm just tired of the retardation. I'm tired of the pause. I'm tired of people doing shit for Israel. Like, I don't really get how that makes me a third worldist. But what they should have done, I think, with Venezuela is, after they kidnapped Maduro, the demand should have been that Venezuela holds elections, internationally monitored elections, and you could invite Russia and China and whoever else to observe the elections. We know that the pro-American side would win. And to me, that would have been it. And part of that would have been an amnesty for anyone from the Maduro regime, as part of it. Um, there's that. I mean, there are third worldists, and I've complained about third worldists. So within, like, kind of the dissident or the non-mainstream foreign policy spheres, there's people like me, or like, I guess you could say, Daniel Davis or Pat Buchanan, or even someone like Nick Fuentes, who don't like this stuff because it's a waste of time and money, and it's wars that don't benefit our people, and it's a distraction from real problems like mass immigration, and we oppose it for that reason. Um, Whereas with third worldists, they just hate white people and they complain about colonialism, and that's just kind of their perspective. And they use gay shit like the global majority, and they suck off China, and they talk about how India is a rising power and it's more sophisticated, and all this stuff. And there's kind of a temporary, I don't know if alliance is the right term, but alignment might be a better term. Um, so, like, I personally don't like China. I don't like Maduro. I don't like Pakistan or India. I don't want these people in my countries. I just don't want like unlimited global wars for Israel. I don't get why that's that like controversial. Um okay, I'm going to say something that might be radical. If America was to say, look, we're going to have to deploy our army to Mexico, or at least special forces to Mexico, and just start killing cartel members because the situation is intolerable, I would be very sympathetic to that. Now, they'd have to have a good plan to actually achieve something. But if America was saying, look, we're going to have to, in cooperation with the Mexican government, or pressure the Mexican government to let us do this, do a military intervention in Mexico because the situation is just fucked and we have to deal with it, I would be sympathetic to that because that is a legitimate problem and that is like a legitimate thing. Now, that might create a refugee crisis and stuff like that. And I was on the fence about the Venezuela thing because I do think the Monroe Doctrine is in America's national interest. I mean, I'm kind of like, I'll say this. To paraphrase Muhammad Ali, they tell me that they want me to hate Iran, but no Iranian ever called me a ninja. If you get that reference to Keir Starmer. The issue is, and I'll say this, people are like, well, why are you sympathetic to Iran? I mean, it's not, other than the fact that the whole thing is fake and gay, the whole thing is fake and gay. Iran does not impact my daily life in any real way. I occasionally see flags. I occasionally see people protesting or whatever. I guess they're giving Hezbollah and Hamas money and they're doing damage. I guess they help the Houthis shut down the Red Sea and things like that. So, like, I guess I kind of get it. But they're not the ones who are controlling the political system. They're not the ones who are like once again, let's just take a look at this because I always come back to this. If anyone wants to say it's just a conspiracy theory, it's just you're just an anti-Semite. Holy shit! Meme magic is real. Meme magic is real. 6 million American members of AIPAC. That is amazing. Okay, I just have to tweet this out. Can you retweet images? No, you can't. Oops. Okay. So, okay, just look at AIPAC. They're proud to help expand the U.S.-Israel relationship. Okay, let's see here. I'm just trying to find. Iran killed 608 American troops in Iraq War. Like, once again, I'm going to say that, like, I'm okay. So, I get that if you're an American, you don't like the fact that a country was killing your soldiers. And I get that. I understand. And I sympathize. But to be fair, you were invading Iraq. And the Shias in Iraq wanted support from their co-religionists. And their co-religionists came in and provided said support. So I don't see how it's an atrocity. I guess that's what I'm saying. I don't see how it's this like atrocity that soldiers got killed during an act of war. Like, I'm not justifying. I'm just saying I think there is a difference between fighting like an offensive war and people got killed during like legitimate firefights than terror attacks. I just don't think that they're the same thing, to be honest. I don't know. Maybe that's like a third worldist take or something like that. Unconditional surrender. Okay, let's see. What is this?
Of our strategic partnership. Well, hello.
Okay, look at this humiliation, Richard.
Hello, this is Congressman John McGuire. I'm a Navy SEAL veteran. I understand the importance of our strategic partnership with Israel. Midnight Hammer mission would not have been possible without that partnership. You know, Israeli soldiers and American soldiers worked in the same control rooms for a very incredible mission, which probably saved millions of lives. And so I'm glad to be here with AIPAC.
Well, I mean, from a perspective, you could say the Shias were understandably upset and concerned that their country collapsed into total chaos, and they went to their friend to help them out. Like, I don't know. It would be like complaining that the Germans were terrorists because they fired back at the U.S. soldiers. Now, if you want to say that when the Germans did something like the case during the I think it was the Battle of the Bulge, where they dressed up as military police and used that to get close to the Americans and then slaughtered them, then yes, that would be an attack of state terror. I would agree with that. I'm not going to disagree with that. So they're celebrating this. I don't know. That seems like a lot of air defense missiles are being expanded, especially if they're firing two at each. Part of my issue with what Israel's doing in the Gaza Strip is they're just doing they're doing shit like shooting women and children who are going to get like aid. Like, in using artillery and tanks and heavy machine guns against people who are trying to get aid. I don't know. I just find that fucked. I'm not even to support Hamas or anything. Just at a basic human level. Let's see here. I'm just trying to find... Because they were bragging the other day about all this stuff. Okay, let's see. Let's look at this propaganda.
עם הטייסים המופלאים שלנו ושל ארצות הברית וצוותי הקרקע המסורים, שיתוף הפעולה הוא היסטורי בין צבא ארצות הברית לצה"ל, בין חיל האוויר לחיל האוויר האמריקני.
Okay, ADL, so we're quoting the ADL. Oh, okay, community notes are awesome. AIPAC routinely meets with Israeli government leadership and works with them to directly frame their message to American voters. Let's see here. Community notes. The Iranian regime has been an enemy of the... So the other thing, let me just look at this. So... Where is it? Okay, yeah, here we go. Israeli Foreign Ministry. For 48 years, Iran declared America its sworn enemy and called for Israel's destruction. This is what the Iranian regime has been working on executing. We took it seriously. So the Iranian regime, because people chanted death to Israel, and we chanted death to America, that gives them the right to attack the country. Like once again, it's kind of, I don't know. I don't know if that really is justifiable, that you have a right to invade a country and kill like probably what would be tens of thousands of people because you don't like that people protest and chant death to America, death to Israel. So does I don't know. It's just to me kind of bizarre. American blood on their hands. Okay, let's take a look at it. Let's take all the examples of, let's see how many American soldiers have been killed by Iran. Okay, decades of chanting death to America. Also, once again, aren't we supposed to be for free speech and like the right of people to say whatever they want and stuff like that? Okay, so they killed 17 Americans in 1983. Okay, one guy got killed in 84. Two people got killed the next year. We jump ahead to 1996. Wait a minute, what the fuck? Kenya and Tanzania, wasn't that Al Qaeda? Okay, people in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't that demonstrably proven that the Kenya and Tanzania bombings were by Al Qaeda? Wasn't that one of the main justifications? So that is like less than 700 people over a 40-year period, is what they are saying there. And that's if you take their bullshit. Also, why didn't they mention the Beirut barracks bombing? That's another one. Okay, here we go. They claim Iran sponsors Al Qaeda. That's a new one. I like, okay. That makes sense. I don't know. The Iran complaining about the Iran hostage crisis in the year of our Lord 2025. Like, just move on. Just move on. So let's see here. Oh, it was? Okay, because I don't even remember that. It was so crazy. We have John Fetterman, who's like this fucking sneak guy. Let's see here. Just seeing if AIPAC has. Okay, let's see what this
cringes. It threatens the United States. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to condemn the Iranian regime as it threatens the United States and our ally Israel. Iran is the world's leading state sponsor of terror, bankrolling the heinous terrorist groups Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis. The regime and its proxies seek to destroy America and Israel and wreak havoc across the Middle East. Let me be clear, Iran can never be allowed to obtain nuclear weapons, and the United States must always be prepared to act to prevent a nuclear-armed Iran.
What the fuck? We were told this. What? Okay, like this just goes back and forth. Okay, so is it about the nuclear weapons? Is it about the conventional weapons? Is it about... Like, it just constantly changes. Remember how Rubio said it was because of Israel, and then Trump said, no, we made Israel do it? But I thought and then they said the nuclear weapons were completely destroyed. And then they said, like, it just goes back and forth in this endless cycle where no one can do this. Here we go. Anti-AIPAC group loses first primary test. So, once again, they're bragging about controlling American politics. Like, they're just bragging about it.
Leaders have launched Operation Epic Fury.
It sounds like something. It sounds like a guild name or a guild operation from World of Warcraft or something.
Lethal, most complex, and most precise aerial operation in history. Our military in the Middle East. Complex and most
launched Operation Epic Fury.
The most lethal, most complex, and most precise.
The most lethal operation in U.S. in U.S. history. Okay, I'm gonna have to see a citation of this on this. Okay, so so we'll just take an average. We'll take the midpoint. So they killed, we'll say 600,000 Japanese. So the claim is that they're going to kill more than 600,000 Iranians. Is that what the claim is?
Precise area.
Also, this is more complicated than the 1,000. Was it 1,000 bomber rates? Yeah. Okay. So this is more complicated than the 1,000 bomber raids they had during World War II without modern computers. Okay, that's cool. Let's see. Yeah, they precisely hit the hospital. Okay, let's see here. Constantine sent me something. Okay. Oh, okay. I was looking at the wrong one. Okay, what is this? What is this gay shit?
Are allowed to dress,
I'm just going to run
go to school, work,
and
marry whoever they like. Iran used to be like this too before they were taken over by radical Islamists in 1979. This is them post 1979. Sadly, under the sick leadership of these terrorists, women are treated like dogs. Do you hear that? Women are treated like dogs. They are forced to cover every part of their body, of their skin except for their eyes. They aren't allowed to leave home unless they're with a male escort. They aren't allowed to get an education or work a job, and they are forced sometimes to marry young as 6 years old. Pedophilia and inbreeding are rampant, and women are lucky if they are allowed to drive. Hell, we have a U.S. Congresswoman from one of these third world Muslim countries who is married to her brother. Where are all my Democrat colleagues who claim to be feminists?
All right, back. Let's see here. AIPAC, pre-revolutionary. What was I seeing? Okay, here we go. Who is this?
Shalom, I'm Jonathan, former IDF spokesperson, senior fellow at FTD, here for my 7th AIPAC congressional meeting. Very happy to be here. And I think the issue that we all have to address and really be aware of is on the historic, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that we have, that is to really change the balance of power in the Middle East and to change the security situation for Israel, to free the Iranian people from 47 years of tyranny and to undo the axis of evil against Israel. What I'm talking about is, of course, the falling or the undoing or the attacking of the Iranian regime. I think it is possible for the first time in history. I think the Iranian people is brave enough, organized enough, and strong enough to continue their pressure.
Okay, let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Is there a U.S.-Israel alliance? Because I keep hearing about this, but I don't think they actually are military allies. At least that's my understanding. All right, let's see here. someone just send me something? Oh, no, it's just someone retweeting something. Okay. What else did I... Okay, here we go. AIPAC congratulates the 35 AIPAC-endorsed pro-Israel candidates who won their primaries and now advanced to the November general election. AIPAC's 6 guerrillan grassroots members are proud to stand with pro-Israel Democrats and Republicans, demonstrating once again that supporting the U.S.-Israel relationship is both good policy and good politics. Once again, I always like to just go and look at AIPAC, because I think it's important to keep in mind just how blatant they are about controlling the U.S. political system. I mean, okay, I'm going to ask the chat, how else could this be interpreted other than them bragging about controlling the U.S. political system? Like, what is the charitable explanation for this? Like, if I was going to just be 100% charitable to AIPAC, what would be the explanation? Okay, let's see. What is this?
Lead U.S. military forces in the Middle East. I'm here to provide you an update on Operation Epic Fury, now in our 4th day of execution. First, I'd like to express my deepest condolences to the families and teammates of the extraordinary Americans who've been now...
Okay, boring. Let's see. Okay. What is this Hegseth clip?
2 most powerful air forces in the world, starting last night and to be completed in a few days, in under a week. The 2 most powerful air forces in the world will...
I'm going to have to press X to doubt on this one. Really? The Israeli Air Force is more powerful than the Russian one? I don't know.
Have complete control of Iranian skies, uncontested airspace. I hope all the folks watching understand what uncontested airspace and complete control means. It means we will fly all day, all night, day and night, finding, fixing, and finishing the missiles and defense industrial base of the Iranian military, finding and fixing their leaders and their military leaders, flying over Tehran, flying over Iran, flying over their capital, flying over the IRGC, Iranian leaders looking up and seeing only U.S. and Israeli air power every minute of every day until we decide it's over.
I don't know. Once again, this feels to me kind of like a child bragging. Operation Epic Fury. You know, I haven't even really talked about but isn't this another like like cinematic thing? I don't know, there's been so much going on I haven't thought about it. Well, like calling it Operation Epic Fury, all the music, the edits, the clips, it's just another one like that. Counter cartel. Okay, look at this.
Inside our country as well. We get used to kind of living inside a status quo, or we get used to a new normal sometimes. I think that's happened to a lot of these
Look at that slow, like, Michael Bay.
Countries. It happens inside our country as well. These gangs are just too powerful, or the drugs are just everywhere, and our job is to change that paradigm. President Trump's trying to do that in our own country and then help other countries in this AOR recognize that, no, with the right political will. And
could someone in the chat let me know? So, were the ships that they were blowing up in the Caribbean actually drug ships? Sorry, the boats, because they were destroying those boats in the Caribbean and claiming they were cartel boats. Were they actually cartel boats, or were they just blowing up random boats? Because I've heard different things. I've heard some people say they were just blowing up random ships, and I've heard some people say that they were cartel boats. And I don't know. I still don't get why they couldn't have just interdicted them and captured the people on them and dealt with it that way. Like, I don't get why they couldn't send special forces in. To me, that would have made more sense, because then you could maybe take some prisoners and try to get some information out of them. Like, maybe there's like documents on the boats that outline some things. Like, there's some maps, there's some names. Get the people's cell phones. Take some guys into custody. I don't know. To me, that would have made more sense. Like, if it was actually cartel boats and they were blowing up boats smuggling drugs, based. Like, I would be cool with that. That would be awesome if they were actually just blowing up drug boats. But, like, once again, and this is the scenario that I find we get in, wherein I'm having to go, you know what, that sounds kind of retarded, and people will go, I don't know. I don't know, like, was it actually drug boats? Then people go, oh, you like, I don't know. Once again, if they were just killing
Authorities.
drug cartel members, that's based, and I'd be okay with that. But I just don't. Part of the issue is I just have no, like, faith that any of these people know what they're doing.
We're playing for keeps. Our warfighters have maximum authorities granted personally by the president and yours truly. Our rules of engagement are bold, precise, and designed to unleash American power, not shackle it. We are punching them while they're down, which is exactly how it should be.
It's like a fucking movie trailer. Oh, let's see. Just seeing what else we have.
And ours alone to control. As long as it takes to ensure the United States of America achieves these objectives. And as we flow more forces, and as we flow more capabilities, and as our munitions, as we're flying over the top, have even more devastating effects, we set the tempo, we set the timeline, led by the commander on the ground.
What do you think Pete Hegseth's IQ is? Like, is he like a 103 IQ or something? I don't know. He just seems like some dude, bro, who they made Secretary of War. Okay, let's see. What is this?
You see, there's no shortage of American will here. We remember and honor our fallen. Those 6 that we will soon welcome at Dover, who gave everything for their country in this mission. We remember them. But we remember them by rededicating ourselves even more fervently to this mission. Our commitment to our mission objectives only increases as our advantages continue to increase. We've got no shortage of munitions. Our stockpiles of defensive and offensive weapons allow us to sustain this.
I know this guy talks like he's a commentator at a sports ball game.
This campaign as long as we need to. Again, our munition status only increases as our advantage increases. Our capability.
Our munition status increases as
we have only just begun to fight and fight decisively.
Okay, let's see here. What else do we have? Let's see. What has the Department of Defense put out lately? Oh no, it's Department of War now. Okay, Department of War. Let's see what they put out lately. We're putting out... Okay, let's see if there's music here. Okay, to be fair, Rumsfeld's quote actually does make sense, and it's actually pretty interesting. Okay, Rumsfeld. Okay. Okay, so this actually does make sense. Okay, so okay, where is it? There are known knowns. So a known known is something you know and that you know you know. So we know that there's a base at this location, and we know that there is X number of aircraft there. So it's something that we know and that we're aware of. A known unknown is you're aware of something is there, but you don't know exactly. Like a known unknown would be there's a submarine somewhere out there tracking you. Or when John Wayne says it's too quiet there. Or we know Iran has air defense capabilities, we don't know what they are. So that actually does make sense. An unknown is something that we don't know about, but we don't know. So it's a spurious factor that we're just not aware of. So I actually don't think that was stupid in retrospect. What is this?
Authorities granted personally by the president and yours truly. Our rules of engagement are bold, precise, and designed to unleash American power, not shackle it. We are punching them while they're down, which is exactly how it should be.
Okay.
We're playing for keeps. Our warfighters have maximum authorities granted personally by the president and yours truly. Our rules of engagement are bold, precise, and designed to unleash American power, not shackle it. We are punching them while they're down.
Okay, I posted a question. Are these Department of Defense clips cringe? So we'll see. See what Chad has to say about this. Operation Epic Fury. Okay, let's see what's this.
My role as acting director of the Defense Innovation Unit to Owen West. Owen is a former Assistant Secretary of Defense for Special Operations and a Marine who will bring the drone dominance effort with him to DIU. Drone dominance is Secretary Hegseth's program to arm our operational units with one-way attack drones, and it uses the Secretary's acquisition reform strategy to get it done. I'm here today with Owen at Fort Benning.
The audio balance on this is shit.
Gauntlet 1, the first in a series of competitions that will get us to scale and drive costs down.
How funny would it be if these got copyright ID'd and taken down?
After each competition, price comes down, capabilities increase, and volume doubles. How is this possible? A steady demand signal to industry. Too often, the department has been inconsistent, especially with new entrants. On Gauntlet 1's 25 competitors, 20 are small businesses and 5 are new entrants. By putting out a steady call to industry with $1 billion, we attract...
Okay, let's see. Let's look at some more clips.
Partners have launched Operation...
Okay. I mean, the edits aren't bad. It's just, once again, it's just them treating this whole thing like it's a video game, which I just don't know if it's really a good idea.
Governing council that might have selected a successor, dead, missing, or cowering in bunkers, too terrified to even occupy the same room. Senior generals, mid-level officers, enlisted ranks, they can't talk or communicate, let alone mount a coordinated and sustained offensive. That's not great for morale. The Iranian Air Force is no more, built for 1996, destroyed in 2026. The Iranian Navy rests at the bottom of the Persian Gulf. Combat ineffective, decimated, destroyed, defeated, pick your adjective. Iran's senior leaders are dead. the so-called
Okay. Let's see. What's this? This fucking edits. Okay, let's okay, to end this stream off, let's take a look at Truth Social and see what boomer posting Trump is doing today. Okay, something about that's not very interesting. Okay. A bunch of nothing. A bunch of nothing. Just trying to see if there's any statements about the stuff. Why is he posting about Bill Maher? Like, what is this? Look at all these posts about Bill Maher. Okay, well, we'll finish off by reading this. There will be no deal with Iran except unconditional surrender. After that, and the selection of a great and acceptable leaders, we and many of our wonderful and very brave allies and partners will work tirelessly to bring Iran back from the brink of destruction, making it economically bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Iran will have a great future. Make Iran great again. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald Trump. The attention to this matter is like the most aggressively boomer thing I think I've ever seen. Anyways, guys, I think that is all I really had to cover. God bless, and I will talk to you all later. Expect some cringe vacation vlogs.